My name is Evelyn Falaye, and I just recently became Pharmacist Evelyn Falaye. I've been a WAAW Foundation fellow from my 200 level in pharmacy school to 500 level, which was from 2022 till last year when I completed my degree. I am actually a young girl and I like to make impact. So in so many ways, I have opportunities to, I do make impact. So when I found out about WAAW Foundation earlier in my degree, I knew that, this is going to be a platform to scale, learn, and to join a community that is like minds. About me, I'm a graphic designer and I love to make things look better through digital space. I love to harness the digital space in different ways, and one of the ways is through my graphic design skill. So I think that's a bit of introduction.
Okay, so thank you so much for that, Pharmacist Evelyn. So how did you learn about WAAW Foundation? Tell me the backstory from the moment you heard about WAAW, what it stands for, to your journey as a chapter lead, to the impact you've made, numbers and all.
Okay. All right. So how I joined WAAW Foundation was how I heard about WAAW Foundation. Initially, it was through a scholarship. I saw the link somewhere. I don't know if someone shared it with me or it was just me that found it when I was searching through scholarship applications. So I found out about WAAW Foundation. I saw this organization give scholarships to females in STEM fields, and then I was like, okay, let me try. So I tried to apply, and at that time, that was my first trial. I didn't get scholarship, but I received a rejection mail that was kind of encouraging. So it contained saying, you didn't win the scholarship, but you can join the WAAW community, and so is in the WAAW community in your school. You can reach out to, that was Winifred Odunuku. So that was how I got to know about WAAW Foundation, through the scholarship. And then I was interested when I saw the mail of, this is what WAAW does and I can become a part of it. I said, okay, I'm going to like to be a part of this thing because of, I'm interested in girl child. I'm interested in what I can do better to make the outputs better in the STEM fields, of how females are not being represented and all of that. So I said, okay, this is an opportunity for me to join, and that was how I found out about WAAW Foundation. The rest is history.
Okay, that's very interesting. So how was your experience being a part of the WAAW Foundation community, going on outreaches? And how did it help you grow into your role or finding your space in the STEM field? Okay.
So being a WAAW fellow has been like a great journey, because I wouldn't call it just an experience, because that's been from 2-3 years of my life. I've been very invested, interested, and associated with the WAAW community. So I feel like it has been a journey rather than just an experience. So it has been life-changing, transformative, and it has helped me understand better how advocacy for the girl child, for females, work. And how has this been? Joining the foundation, there's a structure already on how WAAW Foundation works. There is various opportunities to reach out, outreaches, community meetings, STEM meetups, and all of that. So I got to understand, okay, if you want to do this for the girl child, there are ways for you to go about it. And that has been like one of the experience. Second, it has helped me in leadership, because I was the, would I say, maiden chapter lead of WAAW Foundation, Olabisi University, Shagamu chapter. And that leadership experience has helped me understand how leadership works in a setting where there are students. So in a setting where you are leading people to impact. So you're not really gifting them things, because it's a community of volunteers. So it has helped me understand leadership and how you can lead through various platforms and leading people out to outreaches, leadership and advocacy.
Okay, so that's pretty impressive. So I think you're some sort of like a role model in the WAAW community, always going on outreaches and stuff like that. So can you walk me through like the blueprint of like these outreaches, how you're able to create such impact and the step-by-step process basically, and in turn, like in average, the number of girls you impact after like an outreach?
So I think my process is, we have people to reach out to, like girls in the community that need to be reached out to. We have a community of volunteers in my chapter, so we plan an outreach and we start by, which school is available or which school can we go to? Because in my chapter here, there are some schools that you can't just go because they say, you have to go to the Ministry of Education to access this and that. And then it seems difficult because they don't really believe in what we want to give the students. We just find access to a place and then we get together of, what do we need to speak about? What's needed at this time? For example, we are in the JAM season. Students in SS3 will take JAM this year, like in April. And right now, they are currently taking the JAM form. So on cases like this, when we go for an outreach and we are giving the SS3 students, because sometimes we don't get to determine the students that they give us. They say, you can only take the SS3 girls this time because those are the people that are available. So we go, we're going to teach on career choices and how we can help them make their decisions on what to pick in JAM. So that's just an example. Based on the school, the need, and the community that we have, we decide, what can we teach? Then we come together, make something interesting, like some of our practical sessions. We do, we're going to teach solar, and from there we ask students to ask questions on wind turbine. Then we move into that career conversation. So majorly that's it. And on an outreach, averagely we have about 200 girls, because in Shagamu, where I am in this community, we reach out to majorly public secondary schools and they have a lot of students. And when we go on these outreaches, it's like, we need to come again, because I realized, I think one of these things, one of what I'm about to say is what has fueled my passion over the years. Because when we go on outreach, there's always a need. It's like the students were waiting for us to come to address, this question that's been on their mind, their teacher is not responsive, or their teacher is not exactly giving them the responses they need. So seeing us as role models already in the university, going on the path that they would like to take, makes them feel, this is something I can also do, and it gives them some hope that they can also become like that. So anytime I go on an outreach like that, I'm always inspired to go again. So that's why it seems like we are always on an outreach, because I tell my fellows that if we don't go, who will go to reach out to these students? Because when we go, we see the need, we see the gaps, we see how this experiment, just simple experiments in STEM, gets them excited and all of that. So the journey has been quite, I can't place the word right now, humbling. Yes, that's the word. Because sometimes when I think about my own background and everything, I'm like saying, maybe I'm disadvantaged, I don't get all the opportunities like that. But when I see these students, and I'm like, these children don't even have the bare minimum, and they need to also pursue careers because they also have dreams. So that fuels my actions, that fuels our actions for the year, our plans, and all of that. So that experience has been, and also seeing the WAAW community, having our leader like Dr. Unoma, Miss Timmy, we have other leaders, Miss Wuraola, and several leaders like that in STEM, Miss Lucy, seeing how they show that this thing is actually possible has helped me to ensure that, okay, I'm also on track. I'm not giving up, or when it seems difficult, I'm not forgetting that this thing is possible and there are role models that have shown it. So that has also helped me. Support, like the support of seeing mentors, because when I eventually got the scholarship, I had a mentor, and the way she spoke, she was in pharmaceutical sphere. So she spoke about how she has been in the field and how she has been taking decisions. So it felt my own, oh, I want to become this. I don't just want to become a pharmacist, just a general pharmacist like that. So I think the experience has been humbling. It has been helpful in my advocacy, and it has also been like a mirror, because I continually see people that have done these things and have conquered where I currently am and become great women, great leaders in STEM. So it helps me to also know that I can become this too. But I don't know, there have been challenges though. I've been saying the sweeter part. There have been challenges when there is a quota, or this is the number I want to reach this year. This is the plan of this is the number of outreaches we need to have. But there's also school. There is being the leader, you need to coordinate everybody. There are some team members that are not responsive as you would like them to be. So there's that challenge. There's also the challenge of money, financial, to make impact. You need to be financially responsible, because you go on an outreach, you need to fund their transportation. Sometimes you need to ensure that you give some gift or something in form of a gift to the students after performing well, after asking questions. So those things have been some challenges that I faced, but I think the challenges are not compared to the benefits that I have gotten from being a WAAW Foundation fellow and alumni.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much for that. That was very extensive. So I think from what I remember, you're a 2024 WAAW Foundation scholar, and also you attended the 2022 WAAW Foundation Summit. So can you tell me how the scholarship helps you in your journey as a student, in your journey in STEM, and also how the summit helped you in that aspect also?
Okay, I was a 2023 WAAW Foundation scholar. Yes, 2023, and the 2022 summit attendee. So how that really helped me, like, it was immense. It has been immense, because you know that finance is one of the issues, or would I say problems, that a student can face being a student in a university in Nigeria with all the economic crisis and all of that. So having the WAAW Foundation scholarship was an answered prayer, and then a great support for my education. For example, school fees. There was a time that, because the WAAW Foundation scholarship is usually divided into two, so I think the first time it was paid, it was not necessarily used for school fees. It was used for other expenses as a student, like the books and all of that, house rent and all that. But the second time it came, it was like an answered prayer, because I needed to pay my school fees at that time, and I didn't have the complete fee. I didn't even know that the WAAW Foundation second disbursement was going to come at that time. So it was, when I saw the money, it was like, oh my God, thank God for this provision. So it really helped me take my focus off worrying about finances, and just focusing on creating impact and ensuring that I'm doing well as a pharmacy student in school. So the other part, I think the scholarship is more like a financial support. But you see that summit, I think the summit was one of the greatest. Like, when I speak about my career as a STEM advocate for girls, and I speak about my career and impact generally, I think I would always speak to the 2022 STEM Summit, because it was like, it was an experience. It was very, very impactful for me. because I got to learn about why we do what we do. I got to learn about why advocacy is important and who is this targeted to. How do I come in? So being at that summit helped me relate with, see other people that are doing what I am doing, or that are leaders in their campuses over Owerri. We had people from Oyo State, Lagos State, and me from Ogun State. So it was like there was a mix of culture, mix of ideas, seeing people's interest in this thing that, at that time in 2022, I just joined WAAW Foundation. I didn't really know much about advocacy or even how to carry out an outreach, how to coordinate people, how to lead. So that STEM outreach was really impactful for me. And I remember Dr. Onoma being on the Zoom call or whatever platform we used that day and speaking about how she's an engineer, about how she started a career, started this WAAW Foundation in Nigeria, and then saw the need and began to scale with all the various things she's doing, because that was not the only thing she was doing. So I saw the versatility of how, even as an advocate for girls in STEM, you needed to ensure that you're also building yourself as a woman or as a girl, so that this leadership that you are trying to speak to others about, that you can be a leader in STEM, you should become it also. So it helped me see possibilities. And then it was interesting too, because not just talk about the learning part. It was interesting. I left my state for the first time, not for the first time, but that was my first time being in Abuja and being on a plane. So it was an interesting experience as much as it was a learning experience. I didn't even want it to end at that time. And then I got to meet other people in STEM. There's some connections I made at that summit that I still benefit from, and they still benefit from it today. So just that first meeting, since then I've not seen some of those people again. And their impact in my life is more than the people I'm even seeing every day. So I feel like that STEM summit was an impactful one, and I look forward to something of that sort even again. So that, and then the scholarship has also been impactful for my financial expenses. And even some money from scholarship has been used to fund some of the outreaches we went on at that time that the money came in. So I think that it was very helpful.
Yeah, thank you so much, Evelyn. So, what do you have to say to the current fellows to motivate them, or to give them ginger, or to any tips you have for them in conducting a successful outreach, or to use as motivation to hold body?
To hold body. Okay. Upcoming fellows, I believe that you joined WAAW Foundation for a reason, and I see that you have a potential in you to create and multiply impact. So when it gets tough, I want you to know that you are not alone. We are in this together, and I want you to see it you're not just doing yourself a favor. You're not just doing one person a favor. That one girl that is impacted by that outreach that you carry out, there's a ripple effect around her friends, her parents, her family members, just because she benefited from what you said, from what you taught, or from the support that you gave to her, maybe even just an advice on, take this career. Because I remember the first outreach we carried out, that was the very first outreach we carried out in this community, Shagamu, Ogun State, Nigeria. And we talked about self-confidence. We didn't even have tools to carry out STEM experiments at that time. So it was just a simple talk, and one lady came and said, she's very happy that we came. She had been feeling somehow about how she looked and how people have been talking her down. She didn't have self-confidence and all that. But before we came, that was how she was. But after we finished our talk, she was very excited, and she now feels so much confidence because of all the things that we have said. And she knows how she's going to handle some criticism that will come or that had been coming before. So that really reminded me that we need to actually go on these outreaches. even though we ourselves may be facing some challenges in school or some these barriers, like maybe distance to the school, not enough funding and all of that, but don't see it like it's a one-man business that, oh, if I don't do it, everybody else will be fine. If you don't do it, nobody will be fine. You need to go continue. Even when you've done maybe 2, 3, 4 outreaches in a year, there's still one school that still requires you to be present. There's still another student that if you don't speak to her today, she might just give up on that dream that she has to become a medical doctor, or maybe an engineer, or maybe even a pilot. But even if it's not in STEM, something around being a lawyer and all of that. So what you say to these girls at that stage matters a lot. What they hear from a lot of people. So you going there as a mirror of possibility, you going there as a mentor, or just saying something to them, help them understand better their vision of their dream, and you should do it. And don't think you are doing this for Dr. Unoma, the founder of WAAW Foundation. So I like to think about it like, I don't want to say conglomerate, or maybe a group of people that are working towards a goal. So it don't necessarily have to be you that found or be the founder of that foundation or an organization. So far you're a part of it, be part of it completely. Ensure that you give your best and ensure that what you are doing counts. And also, there's one thing I like to speak to. If you don't talk about what you are doing, it's almost like you're not doing it. In this 2026 or in this day and age, we have a world that is really media focused, concerned, and digitally, what you are doing should be communicated. And you should learn how to communicate your impact. When you go on an outreach, make sure you fill the form, or you take pictures, tell the stories of the girls you to impact. Ensure you do some videos, ensure you communicate, 200 girls were impacted. Out of the 200 girls, 2 girls spoke about how they used to be this, and after our outreach, they became this. So those things actually show that, the work you are doing matters. But if you don't speak about it and you're doing it, it's still good, but it will not get to the right authorities, because at the end of the day, you need funding. You need a lot of you need people to join the work. You need volunteers. But if the volunteers don't know what you're doing, they may not be interested in joining with you or continuing the work with you. So I think that's one. I think if I would summarize all I said, don't see this work as, if it's not my work, I don't need to put in much effort. 2, communicate your impact. 3, even through the challenges, ensure that you are putting in the effort to make impact, to go on outreaches. And lastly, I want you to work together with your fellows and the WAAW Foundation chapter lead in your school, because sometimes it may seem like one person is putting all the effort. That one person should not say, I'm putting all the effort, everybody else should go away. Because at the end of the day, it is the team that can make the impact. One person can't do it alone. No matter how much passionate and interested and invested that person is, you will still need somebody. One person, for example, only me cannot go on an outreach and go on a successful outreach. Even though it may be because I will speak and all of that, but who will do the videos, who will coordinate the students behind, who will ensure that everything is in order when one person is speaking. So if you are the chapter lead, if you are a fellow, work together with others, encourage them. Even if they are not seeing it the way you are seeing it, speak about it. Tell them, it's possible this way, we can go this way, we can do this way, and then ensure that everybody understands the work.
Okay, so I think this is the second to last question. What is an outreach experience, one outreach experience or moment that stuck out for you that you carry on entirely to in the end?
Okay. So there are so many experiences. That's why I'm finding it difficult to find one that stuck out. But there's a particular one. This outreach was in 2024, I think February 2024. And we went on an outreach to secondary school students in SS3, that's final year in secondary school. And initially when we got there, the students were not really interested in the things that we were saying. They were just nonchalant, and they were like, oh, these people, secondary schools usually have various people that come to speak to them. So they're like, oh, another one is here, let's come and go. But we did this practical on wind turbine. So when we started, they were like, their faces lit up, like we will say in the report. So their faces lit up, and they were like, oh, okay, what are they doing? And more people became interested. More people were answering questions. I think that was the day there was a particular person that answered the question. We asked the question. One student answered. She just answered briefly. The other student answered, and then she gave an extensive explanation of what we asked. So the other student, and then I was like, oh, you knew what she said, right? Why didn't you say it? Then I encouraged her that next time you speak confidently and ensure that you show up, all of that. So I was just speaking to that while the practical was going on. So what really stood out for me was there was this particular student. She was the assistant head girl at that time of our school, and she spoke about the outreach. She was very happy we came and everything. Spoke about how we can use simple materials, simple scraps to create something that can be useful, like the LED bulb, how it came on, the fan, and all that. So she was very happy. Then after like 2 years, I think it was in 2025, I met her in an eatery. That was the first time I was seeing her after that day. So I was so happy because she spoke about how that outreach had helped her and how that outreach really helped her to go ahead. She's now a student of University of Ilorin, and she has started learning and working as a graphic designer. So I was like, wow, I'm very, very happy to see you. Like initially I didn't even recognize her. But after I was looking, it's not the girl from that school. And now she's a graduate. Now she's a graduate of secondary school. Now she's in the university. It was just like a moment of reflection that, oh, what if we didn't even go that day? Or what if we said, oh, the school, because we had to push for a while before the school said we could come that time. So it was very reflective for me. And I think I'll never forget that one, because I'm even now in touch with her. After, like, when I met her that day, she said, oh, this is what is happening. This is how I can be of help to her, like give her some classes or even just advice on how to become better at a design skill that she has taken now. And I was even trying to encourage her to the foundation chapter at Uni Ilorin at that time. So it was a very interesting moment for me. There are other ones though, but I think that one sticks.
Okay, last question. If you could describe the WAAW Foundation in one word or a sentence, what would that be?
Faith, that's a strong question.
You think carefully.
One word, Faith.
Or a sentence.
One word, I would say inspiring, because WAAW Foundation inspires many girls, even people that are not girls, across Africa, across a lot of countries, and it's very inspiring to see. And a sentence, I would say WAAW Foundation is that community that ensures you at the beginning is not you at the end. So what that means is, when you join WAAW Foundation, you don't live the same way. Positively, definitely, you came. You learn a lot, you encounter a lot of people, you are connected to so and so scholarships, opportunities. It's more than just a foundation or just an organization that is increasing the pipeline of girls entering STEM. It is impactful. It is ensuring that other girls can bring other girls up. Because, for example, me, when I joined WAAW Foundation, I don't think I was so interested in so much. I knew I wanted girls to be represented in STEM. I knew I was interested, girls should be fine, girls must do this, girls must do that. But I didn't know, there was no framework, there was no platform, there was no community. But WAAW Foundation gave me all of that and even more.
Okay. So, Thank you so much, Evelyn. Please, do you have a question?
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
no.
Okay. So, like I said, have a great day. So, I think this is the end of the interview. Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.